Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start we already have, as you can tell. We're going to be working on a turbo for my LBZ Duramax. This is for like a 2007 model classic GMC Sierra. We've got the turbo mostly tore apart here. I've got a lot of this cleaned up. And as you can see over here, I've already sandblasted my out housing and I've already got it painted, but we've still got to finish tearing down the main part of the turbo here. So we're going to just jump right into this and we're going to finish tearing this down. I'll bring you in closer. We are going to be putting a KC turbo rebuild kit in it. This is the extreme. This is for all the bushings, the O-rings, everything. Also, we're going to be adding a balanced 10 blade. We can get this out of here. As you can tell, beautiful thing. So, or to add just a little bit of power, maybe a little bit of booster or so, but you'll definitely notice on the sound. But let me bring you in closer and we'll finish tearing into this thing so we can get it cleaned up the rest of the way and start the rebuild process. All right, let's tear this one apart. Righty tied to the backwards threads. There are those screws just like that. Casing has an up arrow. So right here. See the up arrow? Goes straight up. And goes right here to the center of this port. Notice this piece right here. Take those 4 screws up. Put these in here with this one. And this cover comes right off. Just like that. Set that here. There's a little bushing right here that comes out. Just like that. Slides right off. Got an O-ring in this. come out. Now we'll take hammers, barely tap. That slides out. Got a bushing on it. Slide the bushing off. This has a little snap ring on it. This will also have this spacer in it. There's another bushing. Goes there. That's that for that piece. Now we're going to take these three pieces. Well, first we got to get this snap ring off. Not a snap ring, it's kind of like a I'll show it once I get it off here. There we go. I'll show it to you. The low snap ring thing that goes in the bottom groove closest to the propeller. And then, real quick, this has an O-ring on the outside of it. Lay it to the side right here with it. That's all there is. We'll take these and throw these into the hot tank. Show you my little hot tank setup here. Bam! Water and purple power. Greaser. Alright guys, so what we got here is the rest of this turbo, and we're gonna take this out of here. It's a 10mm. Just a locking collar here. Goes over just like that. Put this over here with our screws and stuff. That should come right out. Just like that. We've got new O-rings and stuff for this right here too, so set that over here. So this had a snap ring on it, and I've already removed them. This one, and then inside of here. Smaller one went here, the bigger one went down inside of here. I've already removed those. Go ahead and pull this. You can see some of that carbon buildup on there. A lot of people do not take this gear out. They say don't do that, but you see all that carbon buildup? That's why you want to, I'm going to go ahead and take it out. It works this little mechanism here. So what you're going to do is take you a 1/4 bolt, start your threads down in here after you get that snap ring out. Well, I didn't start it enough. There we go. Now we're just going to grab a hold of that bolt, kind of tilt it back and forth, and that'll come right out. As you can see, it's got a rubber O-ring around it. That will get replaced also, so I'm just going to set that over here with the parts. Next, we're going to work on getting this gear out of here. This has a little plunger. Pour some of that oil out here. Got a little plunger down inside of there that this gear right here works on. You can see when I turn this, I don't know if you can see down inside there, but you can see that plunger moving. The gear inside here, you can see they line up and you can see it's turning. But we want to put all brand new rings on this thing, so we're going to tackle that also. And we'll clean it all up because I don't want nothing at all to say that it's you know, holding itself up with something that I could have prevented. This is going to have a roll pin holding this gear on. See if we can get this the rest of the way out. I got a pick somewhere here. Here we go. Well, I said it would come out. I know it does, so. There it is. There's the little teeth that gear meshes on, and you got to time this just perfect when you put this back in here. Yes, I'm wearing gloves. As you can see, these were new gloves when I started just messing with this just now, so it gets a little messy. Get this flashlight in here a little bit closer so I can see this roll pin. Alright guys, now off camera I went ahead and got all this cleaned out. Got it back in there. I didn't record it. I'll be honest, I got tired of fudging with it, but I've still got to clean this plug right here, and I'll do that in a second. But I'm going to show you something here real quick. Let me get these gloves off here. Alright, real quick, this is your unison ring. Alright, and usually what happens is, I'll put some pictures also, but usually what happens is, when that unison ring is on there, the carbon will build up and it won't be able to turn. Now this plunger inside of here is what activates this to turn. And as you can see, let me go right here. I think it is. Yeah, right here. As you can see, I've got mine to where it's turning pretty decent. I mean, I'm kind of happy with it, but we're going to go a step above and beyond. Because what you'll see here is this casting on this part is real rough around this. And you can see all the casting. They didn't take the time to smooth all this out, but we're about to. What I'm going to do is just take a little die grinder here, whatever, and I'm just going to ever so lightly go around this and smooth this out. That way, in the future, I won't have to worry about this getting jammed back up again. Like I say, it's already fitting good. I've took a little bit of just regular sandpaper and went around it. But I'm going to take this bit here, this carbide bit, and that's what we're going to use, and we're just going to go around this ever so lightly and clean this up a little bit. I'm not taking off a lot. I'm just kind of smoothing the casting out. What we're going to do, we're going to turn this little crank out of the way. That way we're not interfering with that. Get you some safety glasses. I know you guys can't see my face, but... And we're just going to keep it straight. Notice I've got a flat tip one like this. A flat one. That way I can get straight down to this. Perfect. That's all we wanted right there. Now as you can see, it's got a little bit of extra play, not too much. That'll work perfect, and I don't ever foresee any problems with that right there. Like I said, I didn't want to take off much, just enough to where to give it a little bit of clearance and kind of smooth out. I'll show you here. You can see I kind of just smooth out that casting. That's all I did. Alright guys, now we're ready to start putting this thing back together. Alright, now that we've got this turbo here, we're ready to go back together. What I've ordered is the KC Turbos Extreme Kit, rebuild kit, with the 360 oiler here. You'll see here, let me get a stock one here. You see the difference. There's a major difference. This is going to oil all the way around. So I ordered a 360 oiler. You got new bearings, bushings, O-rings, bolts, everything. I also got their balanced 10 blade. So we're going to install that. Alright guys, now we're at the spot where we're going to start putting this thing back together. Basically, now we're going to rebuild it. We're going to start off with this cap down here, and then this next cap here. Inside of here, let me get my little pick. There is an O-ring. I'll try to get a flashlight here. I don't think you all are going to be able to see this, but I apologize. Right here. You got a little O-ring inside of here. This is the 360 Extreme rebuild kit from KC Turbos. So, as I pull these rings out, O-rings and stuff, I'm going to set them to the side, but I'm going to match them up with the one, as you can tell, so we'll know that one belongs in there. There's the old one over here. We'll make sure you put this in the right groove. You don't want to put it down in the groove where your snap ring needs to go. You get new snap rings with this. Let's put a little oil on here. Just about forgot my own self here. Oil all these O-rings and stuff up. There we go. Got that one in there. Now we're going to take our cap, put a little oil on top of this gear here, help that cap get down on there. Alright, we're going to get a socket. We're going to tap down on it. You don't want to go crazy with it. You just want to go down enough to where your snap ring. Alright, just like that. Now we're going to get our new snap ring from the kit over here. Get a piece of paper towel here. Wipe my hands a little bit. You want to use plenty of oil on this when you're putting this stuff back together. So, snap ring pliers. Put that in there. Make sure it's seated all the way in there. Alright, I'm happy with that one. Now we're going to put our new one in this end over here, where the plunger goes. We'll wipe it out just a tad. Just for my peace of mind. I've already put oil on this thing, but wipe my hands again. This is where you're going to take your plunger here that we took out earlier. Pull the O-ring off of it. Right there. Look in the kit. You've only got one that matches it. Put the old one to the side. I'm going to wipe this down. We can take this 1/4 inch bolt out of it now. Put it on. Put plenty of oil on it. Put it in there. And again, we're going to do the same thing. We just want this to go far enough for our snap ring to go in. Just a little tappy tap tap tap. like that. Put the socket out. You can't really go too far because this plunger is actually going to push it back out here in just a second. I'll show you. Get our other new snap ring. You've only got 2 in the kit. Snap ring pliers. I hope you all can see this. Put it up in the groove there. Just going to spin it around to make sure there isn't a certain area that this needs to sit down in. Feels good to me. Yep. Now, I'll show you here. Once I turn this little knob here, you'll see. Well, I said it would. Hang on. There it goes. See, it pushes that cap right back up there. So we're good there. Boy, I'm going to go through some paper towel here. Alright, we'll get the flashlight out of our way here. Alright. Next we're going to start working on this side of it. Now this is, like I said, this is the 360 rebuild kit, so I've also opted to get their 10 blade, and when you take these off, these threads are backwards. So when you want to tighten it, you got to loosen it, and when you want to loosen it, you got to tighten it. So we'll spin this off here. Set this over here to the side. We've got to get our parts off here. Set this over here. We'll separate these two. This is your spacer right here, this little one. Put some oil down. We'll oil this thing all up. Doesn't hurt. Your spacer goes with the flat edge down. And then next you're going to put your 360 oiler. You can tell it's 360 oiler here. Put some more oil. The open end down here goes towards the open end here, just like that. Throw you a little bit more oil on top of it. Now we're going to take our oiler here. You get 2 snap rings or 2 snap. I guess I'm going to call them snap rings. You'll see they've got a little groove cut out. I've already put this one on. I cheated a little bit. But whenever you do this, you're going to take the open end and you'll slide the open end in on first, and then you'll push the rest of it all the way around. You will go to that top groove. We're going to take this. This is our painted cover. This end goes just like this. You're going to put it in there. Push it all the way down. Alright guys, after we got that oiler pushed down in here, again, make sure there's plenty of oil on it. We're going to grab our flat washer out of the kit. A washer. Flat O-ring, I'm sorry. we're going to put that right inside of here. Make sure it's all the way down in there. And then with these Duramaxes, you'll see they've got an arrow that points up. That's going to go up to the top. That way you know you got the right orientation. Alright, now we're going to take 4 bolts out of the kit. You get brand new bolts. Gonna get these snugged up. I'm not going to tighten them with this. I'm just going to snug them down. You want to go in an X pattern. Take this off here. You're going to torque these down to 12 foot-pounds or 144 inch-pounds. Go in an X pattern, snugging them all up first. Alright, got those torqued down to 12 foot-pounds. And again, I'm going to put a link to a website that shows all the torque patterns and or torque specs and everything for this. Alright, next we're going to put our oil ring on here. Put some oil around this journal. It's going to go down to the second groove here. Grab our other ring. Put oil around it. And again, going to start with the open end down. Start with your open end and just push it the rest of the way around. It went to the first ring, we got to go to the second. Got that spread open, started on the first, going to the second, and then just go around it, and there you go. Now we got that on. Alright, next we're going to put the bearings on here and the spacer and another bearing. Use a little bit of this assembly lube here. Just going to put it around this shaft right here. Doesn't hurt it. Alright. Let me go ahead and pull me off a couple more paper towel here, because my hand is really fitting to get oily here. May help if I wear gloves, huh? Oh well. Alright. Now, we'll take our bearings and our spacer. Put plenty of oil on it. And all we're going to do is, first one, put a bearing. Slide it all the way down. Next one, put your spacer. Then another bearing. Just like that. And again, people are going to say, man, you're using too much oil. You can never use too much oil. It ain't going to hurt it, so. Alright. Now we're fixing to slide this into this turbo. And they say when you slide them in, to turn and press. Make sure everything's lined up. You should hear it. We'll turn it. Well, we're going to turn it. Let me see something here. Yeah. There it is. Now it's in there. It's locked in there. Alright. Then, point this towards you here. On these KC turbos, on their balanced wheels and stuff like that, shafts and stuff, you don't torque these down. You're going to line up the blue marks. You'll notice this one has a blue mark here, and it's got a blue mark right here on the shaft. When you spin this down, you're only going to tighten it to where you line those two blue marks up. You do not torque this. Remember, backwards threads. Alright, now we're tighten there. Take a 14 millimeter. I'm going to hold this back side here. And I'm just going to line up these blue marks. I have to hold it with a wrench. 19 millimeter over on this side. I'm just going to line these blue marks up. Right there. That's it. You don't torque it. They say these will tighten themselves up. So that's that right there. That's the 10 blade. I'm stoked about this. I want to hear the sound so bad. Next, clean my hands off here. You're going to take your big O-ring, the biggest one they got in here. It's going to go around the outside here. Put some oil around it. Oil on this. I say this is the tricky part, and I can see why. Aha. Let me get this on. It's tricky. I had to get an extra set of hands out here. There we go. Alright. Then what I like to do, take your pick, get in behind it here. Just kind of go around it that way. If it's rolled anywhere, it'll unroll itself. Follow around it. Just like that. Alright, now that we got that on there, wipe my hands again. Alright. Next, we're going to put the outer housing on. Bolt goes up to the top, just like this. We'll get our bolts. Put them in. Just gonna finger tighten them for now. I'm excited to hear how this thing sounds. I won't be putting it on right away, but I'll update you all with a sound clip. Snug these down with my little M12 here. All right. Just a moment here. Alright, now these also get torqued down to the same 12 foot-pounds, 144 inch-pounds. Just gonna go around and snug them up. I guess I skipped this one. I was tightening. Kind of add a cross pattern. Alright, now we're going to torque them. Let me get this one. Yep. think I got this one, yep. This is what I gotta get. I'll double check. One more. Yep. Alrighty. I'm gonna set this over here to the side. Next, well, there's one more part I can put in this. Right here. Our solenoid. You can see all these. It's got 5 O-rings on it. You got 5 O-rings in your kit. So, I'll put those on it. Get my little pick here. I'll pull these all off of here. Just for giggles, I'm going to set them inside of here. I'm sorry if I'm not getting this in frame, guys. Pull this last one off, the top one here. And to make it easier, I'm just going to put some oil inside of this. There we go. Start with our biggest one. Take it all the way to the top. Alright, top one's on. Alright, one more. There we go. Now I'm going to wipe the outside of this down. Just right here. It's going to go just like this. Just like that. Then you'll take your guard. You'll be able to line it up with the grooves, line it up with your boat, just like that. Now they do not provide you with a boat for that one, so keep your other boats. Let's put a prettier one in there. They're all the same boats there. There we go. Now we're just running that down. There we go. That part's done. Now we can get this set up. Alright. We'll move this to get this in focus. This is where our unison ring is going to come into play. What I've already done, I've cleaned this up through here. These are our little fins that we're going to use. We're going to put them all on here. These are usually, like this is your vanes right here. And the unison ring is usually what gets hung up with soot and stuff like that, carbon. And that's what causes this thing to not work. So that's why I opted to rebuild this instead of buying a whole brand new turbo. So, all right. Now, alright guys, we've got this on here. This is usually what seizes up around the turbo housing. The thing that we ground down first. But you can see how that's supposed to work. It's supposed to open all them fins up real nice and easy. So, we've got to line the little dial pin up here, and also that little gear, the little arm has to go inside of here. So, what I'm going to do is take some high heat anti-seize though, and we're going to put a little bit just on this edge right here. That way I don't have to worry about this thing seizing up again later in the future. Alright guys, next we're going to put this turbo over onto this housing here. This is the fun part. You've got to get that little dial pin lined up over here, and plus you got to get your gear lined up in here. So I've already got my V-band clamp on here. So let's give this a whirl. Let's see. I'm sorry guys if I get in the shot, but it's kind of hard to see this part. You just gotta line it up. Oh, this thing gets heavier and heavier the more you put on it. All right, let's see here. I'll bring it back once I get this on here, guys, because this is the tedious part. Alrighty, guys, there it is. I fought with that thing long enough, but sometimes it's a pain in the butt to get these housings back together. But you can do it with a little bit of finessing. Got the band clamp back on it, the V-band clamp. She's all together, guys. Now just wait for a good time to put this baby on the Duramax. Again, KC Turbo Extreme Rebuild Kit. You can see we used everything out of it. This gasket will still get used. These are the old rings off the solenoid. Love it, guys. Worked out great. Like I said, just waiting to install this now. It may be just a little while, but I'll give you guys an update once I get it installed to see how good it sounds. As always, thank you. God bless you. Goodbye.